salty, so salty, so salty. Oh, you
Nintendo
Your thoughts first.
is my other. So when I mentioned my top three, they were Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Nintendo. Nintendo
That's
was up
interesting.
there.
I thought you would have gone higher with Sony because I mean, you're obviously a big. Sony
Yeah,
fan
I like.
in general,
Yeah,
PlayStation.
I have PlayStation. I've had Sony. See, it's like so we were planning. Side note, we were planning on doing the predictions show, and if Sony had done any of the things that were we didn't do it. So if you're looking for it, don't look for it. We ended up not having the time
Don't
to do
look
it.
too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they had announced some of the things that I wanted there, they would have definitely won. But they didn't. Give me a new SOCOM, man. I just want a new SOCOM. Why can't I get a new SOCOM? Anyways, just give me anyways. Nintendo. Nintendo was very good this year. Very, very good. And it was very difficult to determine who won between Microsoft, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. I really, like right now, I still don't know who won, but I had to give them a score. So I watched the conferences twice. I put the score on paper and I said, I'm not changing it. Because I can keep changing it and then I'll change whoever won every single time.
Man.
Like I'll go from Nintendo one, I'll go to Microsoft one, I'll go to Ubisoft one. Like I don't know. So I just said, this is it. I'm sticking with it. I'm not changing it. I think I changed these scores like 4 times. And then at the 4th time, I'm like, nope, I'm done. Closing this page. Done. Not rewatching, not anything. It's done. So Nintendo, the bad things. 2 really, really, really bad things, which is why their score was not higher for me. And they're good things and bad things. They announced, I will say that with air quotes for people that are not watching us. They announced a new Pokemon console game, but they didn't show it. It was literally a guy, I'm not forgetting his name, I'm sorry. It was literally a guy sitting on a desk, and he looked at the camera and said, "We are working on a new Pokemon game, RPG game for consoles. We have no other information on it right now, but just want to let you know we're doing that." Why is that there? Why is that
Are you
there?
excited? Doesn't that get you hyped for it?
I love the fact that they're working on it, but wait until you have. It's like they looked at their E3 conference lineup and they're like, "Man, we don't have enough new things. What do we do? Let's spend 20 seconds just telling them of things we're working on and not showing them it." Like it was terrible. I'm sorry. Like, and Mario, I love Mario. I grew up playing Mario. Who didn't? You know what I mean? Like Nintendo, I will always like Nintendo as a company, and I feel like the games that they do well.
Sure.
But dude, like, don't tell me that Pokemon, you're making a don't spend 5 seconds just saying, "Hey, we're making a new Pokemon RPG game," and not show it to me. Like, leave it for something else. Leave it till next year and end with that next year, and then I'll be like, yes. Because right now, if they don't show that Pokemon game next year, like what happens then? You know what I mean? Like, they have to show it next year.
Right.
So I thought that was a bad move. I thought that was a really bad move. And the same thing with Metroid Prime 4. That was my other bad point. Those are my only 2 bad points for Nintendo. Is that I would love a new Pokemon RPG game, but don't announce it that way. And I would Metroid Prime 4, but don't announce it that way. Like they literally had a 4. Like I thought it was Fantastic 4 there for a second. Like it was just like a 4 slowly showing up on the screen, and then the logo. Like you could do that in like After Effects in like a day. Like what? Like that's how much time you spent on it. Like no, dude. Like just wait. And it literally to me feels like they didn't have enough things on their lineup, and they're like, we just need to get these 2 more things in there. Let's do it. But the good things about Nintendo for me is new Kirby game, new Yoshi game. Okay. Metroid Prime 4, I gave him a little bit of points, but I took more away than I gave, so it kind of balanced out a little bit, sort of. Super Mario Odyssey was the big thing. Super Mario Odyssey looks like a really good, unique Mario game. And it's weird to even say unique Mario game. Well, not unique, but like different, I guess I should say, because Mario games are unique in themselves, but I would say different, and I like it. Like this game is I can't say anything else, but besides I like it. You know what I mean? And those are my good points for Nintendo, and my bad points. What are yours?
So I think you covered a lot of
Okay.
what I was going to talk about. Because it was like I said, it was a very, very strong conference. I like that they, um, that if you look at a Nintendo, conference from a couple years ago versus now, like they're consistent and they're consistently about, uh, just they have very, very similar vibes. But I think that's a good thing. That could be bad, but I think for them it's pretty strong. I don't care too much for in a couple other of the conferences did this where they cut away to like Nintendo always does their treehouse stuff. And they've got people in this room and people in that room and people gaming all over. So whatever. They dedicated some time to showing that Nintendo on screen, but to me that cut out a lot of the they showed the split screen and kind of what
Mhm.
you were seeing on both screens while they were streaming. So um, that was it was whatever. Maybe dedicate more to what the actual game looks like and what's
Mhm.
going on in there. But no, I thought it was solid. Like you mentioned, I think the new Mario game looks pretty awesome. As somebody who growing up, I was not fortunate enough to have go the N64 route and get a lot of those earlier experiences. Um, this game looks good. It looks really, really good. It looks fun, and it looks like I'm not buying it because I like Mario. I'm buying it because it looks like a good game. You know what I mean? And so the fact that it's a Mario game is kind of refreshing. It's good. It looks very, very open. Um, so yeah, a lot of pluses. It was definitely a strong conference. But I think you touched on a really interesting point is that they they I don't know how to say this. They don't have the same caliber of lineup as far as the number of games. They
Mhm.
don't have the same volume of game titles to push. And so I think for them, they spend more time on each game. I think it would be interesting to see Nintendo, and like we talked about in one of the earlier conferences we were speaking, regarding Nintendo's at is seeing how their sphere is kind of growing.
Yeah.
They're including now. Now you've got mobile games. You've got Mario on mobile, which is brand new, right,
Yeah.
for Nintendo as of last year. So they're doing that. They've got Skyrim now playable on Switch, and all these other games you can now play on the Switch. So to me, it seems like they are coming down from the ivory tower, right? They're expanding, and not in a bad way. Not like, hey, we'll take what we can get and just throw. It's an organized, in my opinion, an organized rollout of, hey, we're growing and expanding, and we are still a powerhouse. We've just been a little more dormant than we should have. But they're growing out and kind of filling out. So I liked their conference this year, but I'm excited to see their conference, next year and the year
Yeah.
after to see the direction that they're headed. To me, I'm more excited for that. So I guess kind of tying that back together to this is that I think they did really, really well for what they had available to them.
Yeah.
But definitely they if you're going to announce a new Pokemon game, like that's one of your bread and butter titles and IP, and you can do better than that. So, um,
Yeah, that's that's a very yeah. I'm glad you feel the same way about that. But so what was your Nintendo score? Drum roll.
suspense.
I don't
I
even
heard
know
it gets more suspenseful if I just take a pause before I say anything.
just breathe on the mic. It'll get better. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna give Nintendo 7.5.
Ooh,
7.5.
not even close to winning on your book then.
Because no, it's a strong. I thought it was a strong, fair conference.
Mario
But-
Odyssey though.
But we can't make it about the game. It's about the conference. And I
Okay.
think they
Okay.
just have fewer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They've got fewer pieces to
Understand it.
present, which. From a conference within the realm of what they have available, they did a good job on focusing on those games. But what I want to see from Nintendo are some, and it's going to be scary to say, but some new stuff, some new IP, some new titles. I want them to be talking about all of the new directions that they're going. And so they talk about the Mario game, and that's cool. And they've got Metroid, and that's cool. And they've got, but when you look at, and they're different, they're different, but I think comparable when you look at Sony conference and here's the list of games. And you look at Microsoft and here's the list of games. Nintendo is still playing with a fourth of a deck of cards, where Sony and Microsoft has a full deck to present. So it was a 7.5 because it was strong. They did a good job with what they have, but I would like to see more if we
Okay.
can.
All right, 7.5. My score for Nintendo is an 8.6.
Ooh, really strong.
8.6. So they almost won it for me.
Ooh.
I just because again, yes, they didn't have a lot of quantity, but I think they had quality. So yeah, it was really strong. But like I said, anyone, Ubisoft, Microsoft, or Nintendo could have won this for me. It just that's just the way I said. Nope, this is it. I'm not editing this anymore. Not doing this. So that's how I went.
So salty, so salty.